Virginia, 1986 to 1989. The Colonial Parkway did not feel like a modern road at night. The trees pressed in close on both sides, older and thicker than the ones that lined the highways. The pavement was narrow. The pull-offs were small and shadowed. In the dark, it became a private corridor between Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown, a place where couples drove when they wanted to be alone and believed the woods would keep their secrets. He had left California behind years earlier. The public letters, the ciphers, and the deliberate spectacle of the Zodiac period had drawn more attention than he preferred. He no longer wanted to announce himself. He wanted quiet ground and predictable patterns. The Parkway offered both. He spent the first months simply learning the road. He drove it at different hours, noting which pull-offs stayed empty longest, how far the sound of an approaching engine carried through the trees, and where the nearest houses sat. He watched the habits of the couples who came there, the ones who talked for a long time with the windows cracked, the ones who locked the doors, the ones who never looked toward the tree line. When he finally began, he did not rush. Some nights he approached with a flashlight and a calm voice, identifying himself as a ranger checking on vehicles after dark. The authority in his tone was enough to lower their guard. Other nights he used no pretense at all. He simply appeared at the driver's window with a weapon already raised. The method changed according to the couple and the conditions of the night. He still fed the same way he had for centuries. 2 small punctures, placed with exact care, behind the ear, beneath the jaw, or at the base of the neck. The placement was always deliberate so that the larger wounds he created afterward would conceal them completely. Gunshots to the head or chest, knife work across the throat. In several cases, he arranged the bodies inside or beside the car to suggest a murder-suicide. In others, he left them where they fell and walked back into the trees without rearranging anything. The variation was intentional. He wanted the police arguing over whether the deaths were even connected. The first double killing raised little more than local concern. The second created a quieter, more persistent unease. By the third, investigators began to look at the road itself as the common factor. They called him the Colonial Parkway Killer, though they were never certain it was only one person. The methods differed too much. The weapons changed. Some scenes looked personal. Others looked almost clinical. Task forces formed, tips came in by the hundreds, composite sketches circulated through the surrounding towns. None of them described him with any accuracy. He continued for 3 years, 4 couples, 8 victims, spread far enough apart in time that the connections remained fragile. Each time the bite marks stayed hidden beneath the official injuries. Each time the fear along the parkway thickened a little more. Couples stopped parking there as often. Patrol cars appeared more frequently after midnight. The hunting ground was slowly changing around him. He recognized the shift the way any long-lived predator recognizes when a territory is becoming less useful. The increased attention, the empty pull-offs, the growing caution of the people who still came, all of it told him the road had given him what it could. He did not leave a final body. He did not leave a message. He did not stage a last dramatic scene. He simply stopped using the parkway. The last vehicle he had driven was cleaned thoroughly and left in another state. No further bodies appeared along that stretch of road. The killings ended without announcement. Years later, the case remains unsolved. Books and documentaries still return to the dark corridor of trees and the couples who never came home. Investigators and listeners continue to debate whether one man was responsible or several, whether the scenes that looked like murder-suicides were staged, and why the killings stopped so cleanly. They still search for a name and a face. They have never found either. The thing that hunted along the Colonial Parkway had never required a name. It had only required isolation, darkness, and the brief moments when 2 people believed the woods were empty.